So let me do a quick mic check. So I'm going to try this out, see if anybody picks this up. No justice? No justice? No justice? All right, all right. Okay, well, my name is Ali, and I am from Los Angeles. So I'm proud to be here in Burlington. I gotta use this few minutes that I got to share some thoughts about what's going on down there. And I figured that it's best to be present, to bring the voice of the people that don't get heard in this state. You know, the voice of the people that are marginalized in this state, in this country. And I'm pretty psyched that all the other crews that are coming in, they're gonna have some awesome speakers and cool events going on. And you know, I'm usually here as a camera guy recording these things, but I just felt like I should bring some points out about my feelings about what's going on and share some thoughts. So, what's going on in Los Angeles today is nothing new. People think that, you know, this just came out of blue and this is like, you know, just some kind of protest that just happened. This is a systemic crisis that's taking place all over this country and has been taking place for many years. Today, in Vermont, our governor has a contract with Louisiana and private prison industrial complexes. 150 people per month are captured all across New England and brought up here in Vermont. We never hear their names. We don't hear their stories. They are silent. And we're complicit in this state. We are complicit in the slavery and subjugation of the immigrants in this country. This is something that we overlook. My family came from Iran. Now I want to share a little bit about Los Angeles. 2 months ago, 12 Iranian asylum seekers who were living in California and in Los Angeles were picked up by ICE. They were put on a military plane and they were sent to Panama, dropped off. These people were Christian converts. These people were no threat to the United States. They were granted asylum. They were living here peacefully. But they were sent to Panama with no judicial process. They were denied their human rights. They were denied their civil rights. Today, 80% of the population of Los Angeles is non-European. And what you're seeing is the most humble way that they can communicate their frustration. Just about a month ago, I was in Worcester, Massachusetts. Now that's something that we don't think about here. We don't think about Boston. But a Brazilian mother was separated from her children, an infant and a 16-year-old daughter. She was dragged through the streets of Worcester. Who knows where she ended up? But we know, in a prison industrial complex in Vermont, or Maine, or New Hampshire. But what makes Vermont very different is that the entire state prison system is open. The entire state prison system is open for ICE detainees. We never talk about it. They never tell you this information. You know why? Because the contract that the governor of Vermont has with ICE and Louisiana is not open for public. We're not allowed to even see the contract that he signed. We're not allowed to see the names of the people that are brought here. Some brave citizens tell us stories when they get on flights from Burlington International Airport. They're seeing ICE detainees in the back of commercial airplanes. This is nothing new. And they want us to believe that Romesa's case was unique. They want us to think that Mohsen Mahdavi's case was unique. But you know something? They are not unique. Every month, 150, even more, prisoners are captured from Greater Boston and New England area and brought up here. So it is our moral responsibility to question the governor, to ask his complicity in this human rights violation. As Vermonters, we need to ask, Governor, you got to show us the contract that you got with ICE. The governor, you need to tell us the name of all these people you got incarcerated. 3 weeks ago, we had a case here for a Russian scientist named Ksenia Petrova. She was whisked away from Boston, brought to Vermont, and shipped to Louisiana like hundreds and hundreds of other people that do that every month. And they told us, it's okay. The judge has dismissed her case and she's going to be free. She is not free. Ksenia Petrova is still in detention. She's still in incarceration. What they do is they pacify your resistance. And they make us think that we have victories. There are no victories here. You know, the main reason the government of Vermont is choosing to keep quiet is because of the dairy industry. The dairy industry is the tool of subjugation. And these so-called progressive politicians are nothing but a bunch of sellouts. These progressives are selling you to the man. We have hundreds and hundreds of immigrants who live in slave conditions in this state. We have hotel workers. We have tech workers. We have people that fix our infrastructure who brought here under duress, are paid below minimum wages, and we never hear their names. And so the contract that the ICE has with the governor of Vermont and the complicity of the Progressive and the Democratic Party is that they are justifying this injustice. They are ignoring the calls, and they're telling us, we live in Vermont. We live in a progressive state. We're better than Louisiana. No, we're not. They're telling us that we're the Underground Railroad. No, we're not. We are the capture point. We're the port of capture where we capture the immigrant slaves and we ship them to Louisiana. This is the truth that a lot of organizations are unwilling to talk about because they're big. Because they got nonprofit status, because they got donations, and they're trying to make sure they're not pissing off the progressives. But where's Bernie Sanders? Where's Becca Ballin when we need her, we need him down here in Burlington to protest for these things? They're not here. They're not going to be here. Where are these nonprofits protesting the governor? Where are they? They're nowhere to be found. We never hear from them because we have become complicit. We have become silent. We've been pacified, thinking that we are living in a progressive state. We don't. We are not. So I want to ask you guys to think about the role that this state has to do with the subjugation and the oppression of the immigrants in New England. This contract is up for renewal in August. So every voter in Vermont should petition the governor. Every voter in Vermont should petition the governor to disclose the contract with ICE. We need to see what this contract is. We need to find the truth. We need to question our activists. We need to question our politicians. We need to question our journalists to get in there and look for the truth. What's happening today is Los Angeles is part of a larger national crisis. And today, we are standing in solidarity with the people of the global South who have been subjugated to the system of oppression. So I'm going to ask you guys to do a little quick mic check. Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? All right. So here's something awesome I heard in Worcester, and I was down in Worcester when they did the brutalization. And you know that what you're doing is real because we had 10 people show up at the City Hall in Worcester, Mass. And guess what? There was 15 police choppers there, police cars there, right? With all the fire truck over there. So you knew you were going to say something that was very important. So, let's do this. ICE out of Vermont now! ICE out of Vermont now! ICE out of Vermont now! ICE out of Burlington now! ICE out of Burlington now! All right. Thank you, guys. I know that, there are going to be some awesome crews coming in, and these guys got some amazing organization and some power, but it's important for us to check ourselves. We need to do bike checks. We need to ask ourselves, what does it mean for us to be progressives? What does it mean for us to be socialists? What does it mean for us to be revolutionaries and anarchists? I want to also ask you a question. We're here today to speak on behalf of immigrants, migrant farm workers. Where are they? I mean, I'm kind of like one, right? But where are they? That's the question we got to ask ourselves. Yeah, we can have white allies. We can have amazing accessories and all sort of cool messages. But where are the Somalian Muslim immigrants who live in Burlington and in Winooski in segregated neighborhoods? Where are they today? Where are the Afghan refugees who are waiting in fear if they're going to lose their immigration status? Right? Where are the Mexican farm workers? They're working. Nice. So they're doing the job that we are not doing right now, right? They're sustaining the industry, the infrastructure that we have here. So we got to ask ourselves, when we're organizing, how are we impacting and helping the liberation and the equality of the immigrants who live in this city? How can we support that? Many immigrants, countless immigrants, never have an opportunity to buy a house. They don't even have an opportunity to rent out of segregated neighborhoods in Burlington. I mean, so politely, the city of Burlington, which had the north side, right, as the segregated immigrant neighborhood, they shipped them all into Winooski, right? Because they want to gentrify the city. So we don't talk about that. We don't talk about the discrimination that's taking place in our workplace. Have you been to the University of Vermont emergency room? How many of these immigrants are overnight cleaning janitorial work, getting paid what? $16 an hour, right? Doing biohazard work. And then on top of that, they come in home not knowing if the mother or the father is going to be deported. We don't talk about all this stuff. How about the immigrant kids who go to segregated high schools in this city, who never get a chance to get a higher education? Have you looked at the numbers of the minorities in incarceration in this state? The numbers are insane. 17 times higher racial disparity within the incarcerated individuals in the prison system. And I'm not talking about people who are immigrants, I'm talking about people who were born in this country. So these are questions I want you to ask yourself. These are the questions that you need to ask yourself. What does it mean for you to be here in solidarity with the people of Los Angeles and the immigrant community? If you go home tonight, think about the immigrants in your life, the people that have been neglected. I tell you, it is a hard thing for me as a Muslim immigrant to make it up here. I had to kind of sneak up here a little bit early before the actual show begins so I can use this opportunity. It's an impossible task to organize. It's an impossible task to get the voice out. So we got to acknowledge that reality of what is going on, how we're pacified in this neoliberal state that we live in. So I want you to take a time to travel to Worcester, Massachusetts. It's about 200 miles away. I want you to go down there and see the families and the people that are brutalized and ask them how you can help. Because we are the port of detention for them. We are the place where these folks who are captured are brought. So I'm going to do another mic check. I don't really know what time it is. I think it's a... What's the flag? Yeah, this is, you know what? This is a Mexican flag. This flag represents the people of the global South. So I pledge my allegiance to this flag. This is the flag that represents the people in this country and across the world who are struggling for equality and human rights. So, thanks for asking that question. So we're going to do a quick mic check. Whose streets? Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. All right, thank you. No justice? No peace. No justice? No peace. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. I think I had my time to speak. I have a group. It's called the Islamic Universalist Community of Vermont. If you guys want to hang out and talk, we could totally do that. And I am hoping that you guys take this opportunity today with all the awesome speakers that are going to be coming up to think about the struggle of the immigrant community in Vermont and in the United States. But today, we're all Mexicans, okay? I want you to think about that. You need to go home tonight and pledge an allegiance to this flag, because this is the flag that's on the right side of history today. All right? Thank you, everybody.
Hello, folks. I want to tell you something real quick. They are terrified of our power. When LAPD shot me and sent me to the hospital in 2020 during the youth uprising for George Floyd, say his name. Say his name. They made it obvious that the LAPD was in a crisis of legitimacy. That's why they had to bring the National Guard in. Because the people, that's us, we know a lynching when we see one. ICE is in a crisis of legitimacy. On Friday, when they kidnapped 40 people without warrants, when they beat peaceful protesters without warning, or when they fired less than lethal rounds at reporters and Angelinos after somebody threw an empty water bottle, we knew what it was. As they are bringing in the National Guard, we know what's happening. They are trying to find out if we will lose our voices, if they will be choked back by fear. I say no Trump, no KKK, get ICE out of LA. No Trump, no KKK, no ICE out of LA. I did it wrong, I'm sorry.
But we are unified. We're here together to present a united front of resistance and express our unmitigated solidarity with the people of Los Angeles who have withstood flashbangs, tear gas, bullets, and lies to stay out in the streets and demand ICE out. This is a genuine moment of rebellion where they fire at peaceful protesters and the people don't back down. My name is Hugh Sechel with the Party of Socialism and Liberation, and this is Vivon. Vivon gets a cheer. We've got 6 speakers who want to build some power with us today and guide our outrage towards the source of our liberation, getting organized. while the billionaire class profits off the back of the working class, off the immigrant class, they will never give power over willingly.
If we want our community to be safe, if we care about free speech, if we care about the right not to live in fear, then we must build immigrant power in Vermont. Farm worker, compa power. We have to learn from our allies who have been building power for decades and listen closely to how they have been trying to steal our community away from us here in Vermont. So without further ado, take it away, Christian from Migrant Justice. Come join me.
Hola a todos, hello everyone. Hoy estamos aquí porque sabemos que de norte a sur, en todo el país, ICE ha estado atacando a nuestra comunidad.
We're here today because we know that ICE has been attacking our community all over the country.
Ha estado atacando a nuestra comunidad de muchas formas. Y aunque Vermont es un estado pequeño comparado con lo que está pasando hoy en California, también ICE ha estado deteniendo a nuestros compañeros aquí en Vermont.
El dígalo me mata. And although Vermont is a small state, especially in comparison with California, we are not so different. Here in Vermont, ICE has been attacking our communities and taking away our friends and our family and our neighbors.
No podemos estar permitiendo que ICE camine por las calles y que nosotros como comunidad estemos encerrados en nuestras casas.
We can't allow ICE to take the streets, to walk through our communities, taking us away, while we stay inside, afraid and silent.
No podemos estar en casa aterrados de que si salimos a las calles podemos ser detenidos.
And we can't stay at home, shut away and terrified to leave because we're afraid that if we walk out the door, we'll be taken away.
Mi pregunta es, ¿dónde está la libertad de los Estados Unidos? ¿A dónde se ha ido? ¿O es que nunca ha habido tal libertad y es una idea que nos vendieron?
And my question is, where is the freedom of the United States? Where is it gone? Or did it never exist in the first place? Was it just an idea that was sold to us?
No podemos permitir que este gobierno divida y criminalice a nuestra comunidad. Quiero que todos sepan que defendernos no es violencia, es un derecho.
And we can't allow ICE to criminalize our community. We need to understand that defending ourselves is not violence.
Las redadas de ICE separan familia, detienen a gente inocente, detienen a niños. Y mi otra pregunta es, ¿cómo un niño puede ser detenido y llamado que es un criminal?
These ICE raids, these attacks, these detentions that we've been seeing, they separate families, they separate communities. And I ask you, how can it be that a child is taken away from their family and called a criminal?
¿Acaso ser inmigrante es un delito?
Is being an immigrant a crime?
Cuando en la Casa Blanca tenemos a un criminal con más de 34 cargos y a él no se le puede tocar. pero sí a nuestra comunidad que ha cruzado fronteras para venir y trabajar duro aquí a los Estados Unidos.
How could it be that we have a criminal in the White House who has more than 34 charges against him, and somehow we, who've come to this country to work hard and to make our lives better and to make a better life for our family, how are we the criminals?
Por eso hoy decimos con claridad, defendernos no es violencia, es dignidad, es un derecho.
And so I'm here today to say with great clarity that defending ourselves is not violence, it's a right. Defending our communities, it's not violence, it's dignity.
El poder lo tiene el pueblo. ¿Y el pueblo dónde está? El pueblo está en las calles exigiendo dignidad.
And where is the community? Whose streets are these? They're our street. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets.
ICE, hand off of my community.
Let's hear it from migrant justice. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here, no hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here, no hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here.
While people are hungry and our hospitals are closing down, we're pumping money so that the National Guard can shower peaceful protesters in chemical weapons. But an even larger portion of our tax dollars are going to fund the IOF to spray chemical weapons on the Freedom Flotilla, trying to carry for the starvation of Gaza we are also paying for.
They conduct open war crimes against those brave fucking kids on that flotilla, while we pump billions into sustaining apartheid, all for the class of billionaires to say that the root of our suffering comes from Angelinos defending their community. Ashley Smith and Wafiq Faour from the Vermont Coalition for Palestinian Liberation have been reminding us that since long before October 7th, that if we believe Gaza to be somewhere far away, we will die divided. If we want to liberate Los Angeles, we must liberate Palestine. And if we want to liberate Palestine, we must free LA. From Palestine to Mexico, apartheid walls have got to go. From Palestine to Mexico, border walls have got to go.
Assalamu alaikum. When they asked me to speak today, the first thing came to my mind that the people going to say, Wafiq again. And it is necessary to stand up with our migrants, our neighbors. The only reason there is discriminating against them is the color of their skin, the language, the accent. We live it every day. Palestinians or migrants, we are one and the same. for all this crowd, which is definitely migrant justice, appreciate that you showed up, but I want to say something. You are the white people on the States. Our migrants, our neighbors, they need you. Coming out to Raleigh is beautiful and it's good. But it's therapy for you that you've done something good and you're going to go back to sleep. This is not enough. This is not enough. This is not enough. As the Palestinian getting killed by American weapons and ICE who get trained at the hand of the Israeli, as we see what they are doing in LA and in every state, we have to take a stand. American has a duty to take a stance. Stop aiding ICE. Stop aiding Israel. Solidarity.
Give it up for Rafiq Faour. Brothers, sisters, siblings, we are in the fight of our lives. What they're doing in LA is preparation for what they want to do to all of us. Are you ready to defend the LA rebellion? Are you ready to defend migrants all across the United States? Are you ready to defend Palestinian students under assault? Are you ready to defend trade unions who are losing their jobs as federal workers? Are you ready to defend Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, our entire welfare state? Sisters, brothers, siblings, we are in the fight of our lives. Donald Trump is carrying out genocide abroad and authoritarian repression at home. He and his gang of billionaire cronies are carrying out a smash and grab operation to enrich themselves at the expense of the people of the world, the people of this country, and the people of this state of Vermont. But you know, it's not working. Trump's popularity is plummeting. He never had a mandate. He doesn't have support from anybody for the attack that he's carrying out. So he's desperate. When rulers are desperate, they turn to desperate, repressive tactics. That is what we're seeing in LA. He hopes by attacking migrants, he can get away with the attack on all of us. It's a classic trick, divide and conquer. That's why our movement today, here, and on Saturday says an injury to one is an injury to all. When anybody is under attack, we're all under attack. When trans people are under attack, we're under attack. When migrants are under attack, we're under attack. When Palestinians are under attack, we're under attack. When workers are under attack, we're under attack. We know that solidarity is the only way to win. And you do that not by hiding the battles you have to fight, but by confronting them head on. That's why today we have union speakers, Palestinian speakers, trans speakers, migrant speakers, because we are showing a united front of resistance against this billionaire asshole. So everybody here today must turn out, everybody they know on Saturday for the No Kings rally. We here in Vermont and across this country must send a lesson, teach Donald Trump a lesson, and send him as a message. We will not take this. We are going to rise up, resist, and fight back. Two last points. Number one,
we've got to mobilize. But number two, we've got to organize. We are not organized. We need strong fighting unions prepared to strike. We need communities prepared to rebel like we're seeing in LA and defend their communities. We need mass unity to stop Donald Trump and the billionaire class. That is the road to victory. Join us on Saturday. Build the resistance. Free Palestine. Defend migrants. Defund the cops. Fight for human collective liberation.
Free Palestine! Woo! Long live Palestine! Free Palestine! Long live Palestine! I don't want anyone walking away from here believing that the civil rights of Angelenos and the human rights of Palestinians are possible to be separated. Those are the same question. I don't also want anyone to have the starry-eyed misconception that Trump's step too far is what has us out here. If he hadn't made the enormous mistake of attacking the people so nakedly, let's be clear that we would still need to be out here for the violence at the border that has only gotten worse with each president, including Biden, including Obama, and for the violence in our for-profit and state prisons, where we scrub our community of their human rights, here in Vermont, mostly for crimes of basic survival.
Free Her has been organizing their campaign to say no to us taking more money from our communities and using them to fund new prisons while building power with our incarcerated siblings. It is the scaffolding of the prison industrial complex that has created the conditions for ICE and the National Guard to attack our community with impunity. Tell us, Jaya Usuf.
Jada, tell us about it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jana Ossoff, and I'm with Free Her Vermont. We stand in solidarity with the divine rage of the LA protesters. Let their rage and passion burn across this country, igniting mass protests and a true rebellion. It is past time we act. We are watching, in real time, the rapid escalation towards authoritarianism. The prison industrial complex, consisting of ICE, police, prisons, the National Guard, are all tools enabling the ruling class to carry out their sinister agenda and designed to keep us from outright revolution. We must learn from history that our calls for freedom must also include calls for the abolition of these very systems that have the power to disappear us, kidnap us, and kill us. ICE, prisons, police, the military, they always have been vital tools of public repression. They were used against the Black Lives Matter uprising, against protesters of the Vietnam War, the Black Panther Party, the Civil Rights Movement, and the list goes on and on. And now they're being used against our comrades in LA who are standing up against deportations and the violent expansion of ICE's power. We have seen these tactics before, and they are spreading across the country. North Carolina recently changed its riot laws, giving law enforcement wider discretion over who is arrested. The police can now arrest anyone who gathers in a group of 3 or more. And we know that other states are following their lead.
meaning that one day, very soon, these laws could be used against us. Protests can be redefined as criminalized activity, and we could find ourselves behind bars just for simply standing up for the most vulnerable among us and protesting against genocide. And what happens when we are arrested? We disappear into a system designed to erase us. The Trump administration is pushing forward a $45 billion expansion of private prisons, a move that will triple the number of people in ICE custody. These facilities owned by private prison corporations are being repurposed for immigration detention, reinforcing this system designed to disappear people into cages. In Vermont alone, vast numbers of immigrants are being detained and moved through our local prison. In just May, over 80 ICE detainees were booked at Chittenden Regional Correctional Facility, our women's prison. Shame, shame. And these bookings accounted for half of all the prison's bookings in May. And we know this is happening in at least 3 other prisons in Vermont. Many detainees are transported from other states, kept only for a few days, and moved again, preventing them from accessing support and letting their loved ones know where they are. And just last week, 7 ICE detainees were flown out of Patrick Leahy International Airport on a United Airlines flight, and today, another 12 were flown out from our Vermont prisons. This happens multiple times a week. We must say no more. And Governor Phil Scott has refused to cancel the ICE detention contract in April, allowing them to deepen their hold on our state. Meanwhile, yes, shame. Meanwhile, our Vermont Department of Corrections is pushing to build a $97 million women's prison. And we know this new prison will most likely have beds for ICE as well. So remember, fighting this prison expansion locally in Vermont is the same fight against ICE and authoritarianism. So this is why I stress to you all, our calls cannot simply be about the rule of law. Our calls must demand the abolition of the very institutions that enable such widespread suppression, harm, kidnapping, and death. And lastly, a love message to all of you here. We see you, we appreciate you, and we desperately need you. Showing up to rallies is crucial, but the fight does not end here. Please consider joining an organization, decentralized group, getting involved in any way you can, and building power where you are. Mass movements don't just happen. They are built by people like you who step up to lead. So thank you in advance for joining the struggle for freedom. In love and rage, Jaina, and free her Vermont. Abolish ICE, abolish prisons, abolish the empire. Woo!
Our prisoners, free them all!
The unconstitutional nature of their violence is what will keep us here in the streets as cities all across the U.S. raise their fist of solidarity. There is not a member of our class in Vermont who can deny what danger is carried by flagrantly stress testing which of our rights they can get away with.
Removing. To tell the people of Vermont why we will continue to mobilize and further still put our foot down and organize, come join us, Nikhil, a sociologist from UVM who has been working with the 5051 movement. We say no to racist fear. Immigrants are welcome here. We say no to racist fear.
Immigrants are welcome here.
My name is Nikhil Goyal. I am a sociologist at the University of Vermont, and I'm a proud son of Indian immigrants. We gather here today as Vermonters, as Americans, to stand in solidarity with our immigrant neighbors. We are here today to condemn the Trump administration's deployment of the National Guard and Marines to Los Angeles and the violent crackdown of peaceful protest. I want to be clear. Donald Trump is waging a campaign of terror. Donald Trump is waging a campaign to silence anyone who disagrees with him and make them live in fear of persecution, arrest, and deportation. This is a campaign to terrorize our immigrant communities. This weekend, FBI Director Kash Patel tweeted, "Hit a cop, you're going to jail. Doesn't matter where you came from, how you got here, or what your movement speaks to you." I want us to remember January 6th, 2021, when a mob attacked and desecrated the U.S. Capitol to stop Congress from certifying the election of Joe Biden. This mob killed one police officer. It assaulted another 140 officers, and their actions led to 4 officers committing suicide. Where was the National Guard? Where was the U.S. military? Donald Trump not only encouraged these domestic terrorists, he spoke at a fundraiser for the defendants and pardoned 1,500 of them. There should be no mistake. Donald Trump doesn't give a damn about the safety of law enforcement. He doesn't give a damn about the rule of law. And you better believe he doesn't give a damn about the U.S. Constitution. Over the past few months, ICE has arrested children who are battling cancer, a nail salon owner, a high school student on his way to volleyball practice, a high school student about to walk in his graduation, a college student for writing an op-ed in her school newspaper. ICE has arrested migrant workers who are building the affordable housing our state desperately needs. ICE has arrested migrant farm workers who milk our cows and sow and harvest our fruits and vegetables and feed our children. These are the people that we're told that we should be afraid of. Really? Donald Trump isn't tough. Donald Trump is a goddamn coward. Donald Trump wants us to forget that he is waging a war on the working class of this country. He wants us to forget that he is cutting $600 billion in Medicaid, which would throw 11 million Americans off of their health care and shut down rural hospitals in Vermont and around this country. He wants us to forget that he is cutting hundreds of billions of dollars from SNAP, which would force millions of people to lose their food assistance and go hungry. He wants us to forget that he is investing $20 billion in private school vouchers to privatize public education and lay off our educators. And he wants us to forget that he is cutting taxes for the super rich while soaking the poor and working class. He wants us to forget all of that. Like all racist bigots in our country's history, Donald Trump blames immigrants and pits working people against one another. While we're fighting for the crumbs, the crooks are getting richer. And here's the truth. Immigrants did not crash the global economy. Immigrants did not poison your children's drinking water. Immigrants did not ship your jobs overseas. They did not drive down your wages. They did not bust your unions. They did not privatize or defund your local public school. They didn't close your rural hospitals. No. Those were the billionaires. Those were the bankers on Wall Street. And those are the corporations who don't care whether we live or die. It's time to name the boot on our necks. We are here to fight for an agenda that guarantees dignity and economic security to all Americans. Affordable housing, education, childcare, healthcare, and living wage union jobs for all. And we speak as one voice when we say, ICE out of Vermont. ICE out of Vermont. ICE out of Vermont. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. Immigrants have the right to shop at the grocery store without fear of arrest and deportation. Immigrants have the right to send their children to school without fear of arrest or deportation. Immigrants have the right to go to work without fear of arrest or deportation. Immigrants have the right to see a doctor, to attend their place of worship, to go outside of their homes without fear of arrest or deportation. And immigrants have the right to live and thrive in our country without risk of fear, without fear of deportation or arrest. And so finally, I think I speak for all of us, Vermonters across our state, when I say, when you come for one of us, you're going to have to get through all of us. Thank you very much.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people. The people. We've got a couple more speakers, folks, before we take Church Street. It's really important that we understand what Nikhil just said about the billionaire class. I think that was very impressive that the crowd was on board with that. So I don't really need to ask this, but just to be clear, are we angry? No. Are we confused? No. Are we confused? No. That's what I thought. We know our allies, we know our enemies. Our allies are found in the community. They're working class people just like us. The billionaire class is not our friend no matter what disguise they wear. Alongside the most vulnerable of our population, undocumented folks. Alongside them, David Huerta in Los Angeles was attacked by ICE, brutally beaten and arrested for no reason. I'd like to read out a statement from SEIU in California on the subject, just a snippet from the statement.
David Huerta was arrested while standing up for immigrants' rights. Today, a judge set him free after federal authorities attacked, injured, and unjustly detained him since Friday. We are relieved that David is free and reunited with his family, and we are deeply grateful to the hundreds of elected officials, civil rights leaders, labor partners, and allies from across the nation who stood in solidarity and demanded David's release. But this struggle is about much more than just one man. Thousands of workers remain unjustly detained and separated from their families. At this very moment, immigrant communities are being terrorized by heavily militarized armed forces. The Trump regime calling in the National Guard is a dangerous escalation to target people who disagree with them. It is a threat to our democracy. The federal government should never be used as a weapon against the people who disagree with them.
See, unions know what they're talking about because they've got a history of this. The forces of organized labor see right through the hateful bullshit concocted by the ruling class. Any and all forces who claim to fight for the well-being of people must stand in unapologetic solidarity with David Huerta and with the protesters of Los Angeles who the media has propagated vicious lies about. From Howard Center, AFSCME Local 1674, Andy, come join us on stage, please. Lies and tricks will not divide. Workers standing side by side. Lies and tricks will not divide. Workers standing side by side.
Thank you. If you are an AFSCME 1674 member or a member of Green Mountain DSA, please come on up and join us. My name is Andy Blanchette, and I am a full-time worker at Howard Center, but I speak today as president of our labor union, AFSCME Local 1674. I also speak within my capacity as chair of the Green Mountain Democratic Socialists of America Chapter's Labor Committee. I come with an urgent message for fellow working class people and our role in combating Trump's authoritarian cruelty as witnessed in LA and beyond. I first want to state clearly, AFSCME Local 1674 stands in solidarity with all who have been kidnapped by ICE and DHS, and we demand the immediate release of those currently detained. We stand in solidarity with every union member on the streets exercising our right to freedom of speech and calling for an end to the cruel ICE raids. These unacceptable state-sponsored acts of kidnapping are both horrific and unsurprising from this goddamn administration. Unsurprisingly, considering capitalism's fundamentally authoritarian nature. We currently live in a world where bosses who run corporations have full authority over workers. This is an ugly dictatorship of capital where those who make profits from the blood, sweat, and tears of workers can decide exactly what kind of lives we are allowed to live by exploiting our time and our energy. Not only that, the capitalist landlords who pay for their new pools and second homes with our meager wages we break our backs for decide exactly how much to extort from us in exchange for shelter. Workers have historically worked to combat this dictatorship of the bosses by forming our own labor and tenant unions. And with that collective organizing, working class people have tried to exercise our natural rights to free speech, organizing, freedom of association, and collective bargaining to win both better wages and working conditions as well as political change. However, every step of the way, the rich have fought us tooth and nail for even the most meager of wins. They hire union-busting lawyers from an industry that reaps profit by convincing employers to keep them on retainer in order to fight their own workers who are simply pursuing dignity and respect in the workplace. Yay! They call the police on striking workers. Yay! This happened to Starbucks Workers United members during their sit-down strike earlier this year. The rich have also gone so far as to outlaw the ability to strike for certain industries. That didn't stop unions like the Newton Teachers Association of Newton, Massachusetts from organizing a successful and illegal strike to win their demands. But now it seems the rich bosses want more. They criminalize working people from speaking out in support of Palestine through the critique of our own country's complicity in the ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Palestinian people. ICE has beat and detained the president of SCIU California, David Huerta, while he exercised his freedom of speech. That's right. The rich are willing to target unions, union workers and leaders, and immigrant workers to maintain their full control over our economic, political, and social lives. It is essential that every union, be they local or international, answer the question, which side are you on? The time for fence-sitting apolitical unionism must come to an end. There are numerous examples of unions trying to play nice with overtly hostile political administrations, thinking this would save them, and it never has. All this does is allow those in power to exercise their will over organized labor and know that they can get away with it. Worse than that, the do-nothing Democratic Party has used the plight of working-class people as their political platform for decades, and where has that gotten us? Workers are not pawns to be used in rhetoric and then discarded when it's time to make good on policy promises. Working people are who have built and sustained society, and we deserve money for health care, prenatal and child care, education, housing, and food, not money for bombs and deportation. It is simple. It is well past time for unions to come together in agreement for these demands and strike to make it happen. We can win these demands and more if we recognize and internalize that when we are divided and alone, we are at risk. But when we practice safety through solidarity, we are unstoppable. Look at what organized labor did to energize the working class of South Korea in 2024. That's right. If you don't know, they organized workers in huge companies into strike-ready unions and collaborated with farm workers. So Korean workers were able to mobilize and fight back against President Yoon Suk-yeol's declaration of martial law in a fight for democracy. We, the workers and organized labor, must find the political will to commit to this version of organizing for the common good in order to have a lasting impact. We deserve lives of dignity, honor, love, and justice. The workers united will never be defeated. The workers united will never be defeated. The workers united will never be defeated. Thank you, Solidarity Forever.
Organized labor is trying to build a new world. In that way, they're asking for a lot, but in another way, they're asking for very little. We're asking for justice. We're asking for it now, and if we don't get it, we're going to shut it down. So let me ask you something. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. If we don't get it, if we don't get it, shut it down. Shut it down. That's right. Thank you for the reminder that the worker struggle has no borders. Okay, repeat after me. La lucha obrera no tiene... That's a bad rhythm. Don't repeat that. La lucha obrera no tiene frontera. La lucha obrera no tiene frontera. I'll make it one easier for you. La clase obrera no tiene frontera. All right, fine. Our last speaker before we start marching and take the streets is going to be a high school teacher and a fearsome creature, Florence Darling, from the Party for Socialism and Liberation. She asked me to ask you guys a question. Who's got the power? What kind of power?
Thank you. Fearsome creature, indeed. So everybody has been laying it out very clearly what we're dealing with. We definitely all see where this is going, and we're here because we refuse. So we refuse to allow state terrorism in our streets. We refuse to hand over our neighbors, our students, and our friends to be disappeared. We refuse the premise that justifiable and constitutionally protected protest is the random chaos of a few malcontents. We refuse to go backwards. So most of us know the phrase, check your privilege. It means to reflect on the biases and allowances that benefit you and may be denied to others. And it's a good thing to do. But the word itself, the word privilege, means private law. Private law is actually what we're fighting. Those benefits that are genuinely disproportionate among us, even those benefits that some of us get, aren't guaranteed. Private law means that Trump can send in masked military agents and attack us, and that we have to pay for it. What we consider privilege usually means basic rights and respect that should be and could be granted to everybody. Private law is a police state. Maybe instead we can check our inventory, and then ask, why doesn't everyone have what I have? Can you face yourself in the mirror? Can you take stock of your resources and decide every day that this is your fight? Can I say to myself that I brought my hands and my feet, my brain and my heart to the fight? Did I go out and find comrades who kept the faith when I wasn't able to? Because that happens. Comrades who kept the faith in me when I lost faith in myself, because that happens too. And did we keep going back? I hope we can say yes every time, and that we can say yes more and more all the time. And when we win, and we will win, then we can face ourselves and know in our bones that we as individuals brought everything that we had to the fight. Unity in struggle is our greatest weapon, but it takes being grounded in the struggle as an individual to keep it. It's never been more clear that every one of us is under attack. Our streets, our communities, and our homes, we're literally under siege. In LA and in cities across this country, immigrant families are being hunted. Protesters arrested as rioters, and in response to peaceful protests, peaceful resistance, this government has seen fit to send helicopters. They've deployed armored vehicles. Excuse me, I lost it. I'm gonna go back. In Los Angeles and in cities across this country, immigrant families are being hunted. Protesters are being arrested as rioters, and in response to peaceful resistance, this government has deployed armored vehicles, helicopters, riot squads, and ICE everywhere. I got there. This is a test. It's a brutal test, but it's a test. And we can't afford to fail it. I am a teacher after all, so I speak in terms of tests and grades, but it's real. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to see how far they can go. They can't go any further. We can't let them. We can't afford it. Their moves, that's not about safety. It's not about law and order. It's about control. This is about a government that's terrified that its people can see the puppet strings. And so it spins fear and confusion to trap us, sends troops to silence us, sends ICE to terrorize us, calls children threats, criminalizes everyone. Right. This desperate ruling body hopes that we're still conditioned enough by generations of patriotic rhetoric to accept it. But we're not confused, are we? No, we're not stupid. That's right. We can see repression is reaching into our homes and into our schools. It's not normal to see soldiers patrolling neighborhoods. Or it's not normal to see people snatched off the street in broad daylight. Police batons and military-grade weapons are not normal or proportionate responses to protest. This is authoritarianism, I can say it. It's what state terrorism looks like. This is actual terrorism. It's not about crime, it's not about national security, it's about power. And at the same time, they're unleashing this violence on our immigrant communities and on protesters. Trump and his allies are pushing a bill that guts food assistance, slashes Medicaid, strips federal workers of their pensions, all to fund more tax breaks for billionaires and more bombs for the Pentagon. Right. The bell toll is appropriate. This is their death knell. They want us divided. They want US-born workers to blame immigrants. They want us to fight while they rob all of us blind. They want us to be silent while they turn cities into militarized zones. But we haven't been silent up till now, and we're not about to shut up. None of us are going to do that. Especially teachers. Teachers aren't good at shutting up. It's just going to keep happening until we get it right. It's not just about immigrants. It's not just about LA. This fight is for all of us. This is about what kind of country we get to live in, about whether we get to live, about whether we will allow the government to criminalize our neighbors and let ICE and soldiers replace teachers and nurses. No. About whether we will be ruled by billionaires and bullets, or if we will take it into our own hands, if we will be ruled by people, by democracy, real, actual democracy. Can you even imagine that? Yeah, you can imagine that. That's why we're here. Not in our cities, not in our name. We will not accept this escalation of violence. We want healthy communities, not militarized raids. We want schools. We want funding for schools and housing, not detention centers. We want every soldier, every tank, every federal agent off our streets and out of our lives. Because the streets belong to the people. And we will march, and we will organize, and we will protect each other. Because we're just people. We're just people. We're all just people. But when we get together, you know, we can do some stuff. That's kind of why we're here too, right? So we're just people. They're coming for all of us. But when we fight together, immigrant and US-born, worker and student, black and brown, and everyone who's just trying to live here, in whatever circumstances, when we fight together, we win. No more ICE, no more troops. This is where the people stand, and here we stay.
Okay, so we practiced it. Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Who's got the power?
We got the power.
What kind of power?
People power.
Okay, migrant justice. Could you join me up here, if you don't mind, with your banner?
No ICE in our state! No fear! No hate!
No fear. Immigrants are welcome to LA. No fear.
All right. I think most important thing anybody needs to recognize at this moment looking into LA is that not only is this something that could be happening anywhere else, anywhere around the country, any state around the country, it's something that should be happening anywhere else, any state around the country. I think we're going to have people calling it a riot no matter what we do. We're going to have people calling them terrible, horrific, insurrectionary acts no matter what we do. We can do it peacefully. We can do it violently. It won't matter. It won't matter if there is property damage caused or if people are just standing out and holding hands. It will be called the same thing. It will be suppressed in the same way. If the cops are going to use the same force against us no matter what we do, why are we inclined in any way to listen to the cops about how much force we should be using? I think that the protesters in LA have the right to resist with whatever weaponry they choose, with whatever means they choose, because at this point, if the cops are going to come down, rolling down the streets with tanks and assault rifles, who the hell can look at that and say, oh, well, that's just law and order. You can't do anything about that.
My name is Nana. I am the co-chair of the Green Mountain Democratic Socialist America. We're here to protest Trump. We're here to protest ICE, the deportations. We're here to spread solidarity amongst the working class, amongst regular people, poor people, people of all corners of the earth, to stand back and stand up and fight against this tyrannical government, this fascist government that is trying to divide us, but they're failing, and they know that because they will never divide us.
What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it?
The protests going on across the country. Right now in Chicago, we've got roughly, 4,000 or 5,000 people. And the police are trying their best to fuck them up. They've got them they're trying to cuddle them. They're not doing very They are doing their best. We've got people being arrested. And you know what?
But they're failing. Yeah, it's amazing. Our federal leadership is so incompetent. It's just, they just don't have a chance. On April 5th, we had about 4 million people nationwide turn up to protests. It was the 4th largest coordinated protest in U.S. history. When we hit 10 million people nationwide this coming Saturday, we will exceed the 3.5% number that Chenoweth tells us is the amount that we need to enact change. And the administration knows this. That is why they're pulling out all the stops. They were desperate to try to, turn this from a nonviolent movement into a violent movement. That's why they brought the military in. But we won't let them do that, will we? No. Yeah, we know. We're smarter than them. We know what it takes to win.
Does anybody else want to come up and say something?
All right, who wants to come up?
Hello everyone, I'm David Zuckerman. I used to be your lieutenant governor. I'm also a farmer with my wife Rachel, who's here. We have to be strong, and we have to come out over and over again, not only to fight against the dictator authoritarianism coming out of the White House in Washington, but we have to fight for our education system right here in Vermont, which is being attacked and destroyed by our governor and the legislature going along with it. We have many, many fights to fight, but if we stand in solidarity, we will win them. And one of those is to call your legislators right now and say, don't go along with the governor's idea to destroy public education, because without public education, we don't have critical thinking, which is what we need to fight against authoritarianism, right? We need to fight for our workers here in Vermont, our immigrants who have been taken hostage in Vermont and sent out of this country. We have it right here at home, as well as fighting with our brothers and for our brothers and sisters in LA, in Chicago, in every corner of this country. We are all together. Are we not? We have to keep spreading the word to more and more people. It's amazing how many people came out today on 1.5 days notice or so. We need more. We need to keep talking to the people that we walk by on the street. We need to give out flyers and organize. I think Ashley earlier was talking about organize. We need to organize and mobilize both in the political system and on the streets. I do want to thank, I saw a representative here earlier, Leonora Dodge, is here in solidarity. Let's stand with her. We have to stand with our city councilors who are standing up for us, and we have to fight back against those that are not. We need to stand with our mayor who's with us and fight against those who are holding it down. We have issues here at home as well as across the country. We're all in it together. I don't know who's next, but you're welcome to come on up. I don't need to keep talking. You've heard from politicians too often, too long. Are there others here who want to speak? Solidarity, show up on Saturday, show up the next day, speak up, stand up, fight back, be together, we are together. Hey guys,
How you doing? I just want to say a couple quick things. I spoke before. I didn't really get a chance because I'm not part of any organization, but I'm from Los Angeles. Yeah. My family is Iranian, and I want to share a story of 15 Iranian Christian asylum seekers who are living in Los Angeles in a detention camp. They're all deported to Panama, and they're pending being sent back to Iran, where they could die, right? So I want to tell you something. We talk about these nonprofit organizations here. You know, we got all sorts of connections. That's amazing. But what does it mean to be progressive? What does it mean to be a socialist? What does it mean to be a Democrat? What does all this stuff mean? You know, we got segregated neighborhoods where immigrants are living. They used to live in the North End. Well, we shipped them to Winooski. They're not here with us today, right? Where are the Somalian Muslims? Where are the Mexican farm workers? Where are the Afghan refugees who's going to lose their status, right? And you know, I mean, I was born in this country. I got to carry my birth certificate all the time, just because in case I could get pulled over. And I'm living in fear, right? I mean, I'm speaking English. I've been to college. I got 2 degrees, and I still have a hard time finding a good job. I still have a hard time renting a place in this town, right? So this is something that I want you all to think about. When we go back to our communities, when we go back to our organizations, to think about how are we going to help the people who are scared to be here today. There's so many people that would want to be here today, but they're scared because they're landlord. I mean, my landlord was like, yo, what y'all do? Why are you talking about all this immigrant stuff, right? You know, and your employers. So we got to think about how hard it is. And I also want to bring it up to your attention. I'll be very brief, right? But here's the thing. Over 150 immigrants, maybe more, every month are brought up to Vermont. Our governor has a contract with Louisiana, the plantation, the slave state, right? And then he bringing people up here in incarceration. I was down in Worcester, Massachusetts. I saw the families of the people. The Brazilian woman who's got a baby and a 16-year-old daughter who was snatched in front of the neighbors. You know, we don't know where she went. She probably came up to Maine. But the difference in Vermont is that all of the state prisons are open for immigration incarceration. Every single one of them. You know, and all these people are being brought here. Yes, I want you to ask Governor Scott, let me see the damn fucking contract you got with ICE. I want to see the name of all these people who got detained, right? I want to see these people. You want to see them, you want to visit them. And you know, in August, he's got to renew his contract with ICE. So I want you to go and ask him, Governor, you show me this contract that you got. Are you scared because the price of ice cream is going to go up? Are you worried your constituents are going to, you know, bug you about the milk price going up? So you got to ask the progressives, you got to ask the Democrats, and you got to ask the Republicans, why are you all so complicit in this new slave nation that we are building, right? Yo, thank you so much. Hey, hey, ho, ho, Phil Scott's gotta go.
I was serious about the leaving in pairs thing. Definitely do that. I'm going to kind of call the official end of this gathering of people to a close, but you know, the thing is, there ain't no power of the people because the power of people don't stop, right? So, don't forget that while you're living your life participating in capitalism, you have a chance to continue to be out on the streets in a number of different ways. Get involved with one of our organizations. Talk to one of these red shirts over here if you want to hear more. But for now, let's do it again. Ain't no power like the power of the people because the power of the people don't stop!
Leave it over here by this bear.